Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I thought I'd start something new. I know that there's generally plenty of content for new LTE as and when they're released, but there isn't much content covering old LTE, and so I'm going to start making overviews for every LTE in the game, so that newer players who don't know what an LTE does or how to build them, etc. can get a short and sweet look at their skills, exclusives, and all while I talk about their place in the game, both past and present. And with that being the case, we're not going to waste any time. Today we're going to be talking about Nicholas, or more commonly known as Santa. So let's get started by looking at his skills. Santa's skill 1 deals single target damage and has a chance to reduce the effect res of an opponent, whilst also healing the lowest health member of the team. His skill 2 is super simple, it shields everyone on the team by 40% of his health. Santa's skill 3, or his passive, grants everyone on the team a passive buff from the start of the battle depending on their hero type. So attack heroes deal more damage, defense heroes take less damage, and support heroes are given higher effect res. And finally, Santa's skill 4 deals damage, has a chance to lower the enemy's speed, and also has a chance to freeze everyone hit by the attack. However, this does have a bonus effect. If an enemy is already frozen when they're hit by this, there is a 100% chance to extend the duration of the freeze by an additional turn, and it also makes it uncleansable, so you cannot remove it. So that's his skills out the way, now let's look at his exclusives. Santa's E1 takes his skill 2 and adds a huge speed buff to everyone as well as the shield. Santa's E2 makes it so that his skill 4 also heals everyone on the team when he uses it, and it reduces the cooldown of the ability depending on the amount of enemies he manages to freeze. And finally, his E3 boosts the effect of his passive by 30%, but also gives every hero on the team one instance of death immunity alongside a 30% max HP heal when this immunity is used. So all in all, Santa's kit is not that complicated compared to newer LTE. However, that doesn't mean it's not powerful. At E1, he has the ability to both increase the speed of his own team and also lower the speed of the enemy team, and this can create a huge speed differential that allows your team to take so many more turns than the enemy, and that is useful in both PvE and PvP. And because Santa is getting so many more turns than the enemy, if you have E2 and the cooldown of your freeze is constantly being refreshed, then it's actually possible to permanently freeze the enemy team. Yes, you can make it so the enemy never actually gets a chance to do anything. They're just stuck frozen for the entire fight. Now, as you can imagine, this can be a nightmare to deal with in PvP, and back when Santa was first released, it was completely broken. But nowadays we have heroes like Panda to help deal with CC. However, back then, heroes that could deal with freeze were very few and far between. You had people like Tuck and Nasil that were immune to freeze, and Kaf had the ability to cleanse freeze, but with Santa's effect of making it uncleansable, it's not perfect, and especially since you can only cleanse one random debuff. And so as a result, Santa could very easily lock down a whole team, especially in combination with Nasil E1, who would apply the initial freeze to everyone at the very beginning of the fight, and then Santa would apply the uncleansable freeze and duration extension on top of that, and usually it was just GG at that point. And you will find that Nasil and Santa is still a very powerful combination to this day for that reason. And Santa's E3 is also very powerful. The additional boost to the passive is nice, but an instance of death immunity for everyone in the team is really crazy, and it's definitely one of the stronger passive bonuses in the game. Another big advantage to Santa is he is very strong at lower exclusive levels, and as such, he's actually one of the LTE recommended for new players since he starts so strong. His E1 is just a massive upgrade that lets you take advantage of those huge speed swings, and his E2 and E3 also do not disappoint. As we know, when it comes to LTE and exclusives, they are definitely not all built the same. If you look at LTE like Little Jack and Jingle Bell, they don't really come into their own until you do have those multiple copies. E2 for Little Jack, and I think even E3 for Jingle Bell. And as such, it's nice to have such a strong hero like Santa who doesn't need those duplicates to begin being useful. And another really solid attribute of Santa is that he's super versatile. You can use him all over the game. Use him in PvP. You can use him in pretty much every PvE mode he's available in as well. He's just that good. So just to touch briefly on how to build Santa, you're going to want first aid gear with high speed and high effect hit. The effect hit is what manages his freeze chance, and the speed is just going to let him go first in PvP and freeze people, or in PvE it's going to let him get more cycles in of all his abilities, speed up, speed down. Those are his two most important stats. A little bit of HP could be nice for his shield and his heals, but really you want speed and effect hit. Make sure you also give him your freeze hit blessings to further guarantee your chance to land those big freezes, especially in PvP. If you'd like more detail on how to build Santa, make sure to check out the IMR hero bot in our Discord, and that is linked in the description of this video. For new players, I would definitely consider Santa to be one of the best choices for an early LTE next to Lydia, and that's due to his ease of access, early strength, and that versatility that lets you use him all over the game. Really strong for a new player. And that's it from me, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope this was really useful. If you liked the video, please do me a favor and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot and I do appreciate it so much. I hope you all have a wicked day. Good night and God bless.